On today's episode of the Going Deeper podcast, we are talking about finding peace in the Christmas season. What's up, Fathom Church, and welcome to the Going Deeper podcast. This is your host, Kyle Knight, and these are just conversations we love to have here at Fathom Church, hopefully to help you go deeper in your relationship with God. I'm in the podcast studio with our missions minister, Karina Bost. Hello, Karina.
Hello, Kyle Knight.
And our lead pastor, Chris Martin.
Hey, bud.
Hello, bud.
Hey, bud.
Hey, bud. Hey, Christmas is very soon. And I thought we would just talk a little bit about the busyness of this season and how sometimes I feel like, especially this season with we can throw in Thanksgiving in there too, and how crazy it gets and how sometimes that sort of affects our focus. I know as the reason I was really thinking of this is as a parent, you want to do all the things with your kids and you want to make this season special. And me and my wife are always fighting against all the things of this season. And then honestly, and I'm sure a lot of people can kind of relate to this, is you kind of get to a point where you forget about Christmas. I mean, the corny thing is Jesus is the reason for the season. I mean, but even like working in a church and how Christmas is obviously this huge celebration, and for us to kind of think about and celebrate the birth of our Savior, that can get lost in a lot of things. So I'd love to just talk about that and really just some practical ways. Like if we're just kind of feeling very busy or exhausted or just crazy this season, on what that is from and some things that we can do to sort of help us focus on that. So let me start by asking you guys this question. Just a little, I don't know, personal experience or so. Like when you think of the Christmas season, like what kind of feelings for each of you, what kind of feelings come up first? Like, is there excitement? Is there joy or pressure or exhaustion or all that kind of stuff? Chris, I'm going to start with you.
I was going to go ladies first, but that's,
well, we can.
Chivalry is dead.
Dead here.
Yeah. So I love Christmas. I really do. It's my favorite.
I hope
it really is. It's like my favorite holiday of the year, mostly because growing up, it was like, I just loved getting presents. I mean, I didn't, you guys know I wasn't raised in the church. And so Christmas was about, like being good enough to coax a fat guy to come to my house and, leave me stuff and steal some cookies. And that was
a fat guy.
It was really, the narrative was the magic of Christmas, the season of Christmas, the gifts and the fun and the traditions. Like, that was what it was all about. Jesus had nothing to do with it for me, other than the fact that we went to Christmas Eve service, but that was more about singing Silent Night and holding a candle in the air. Right. But I didn't know, I knew that it's like, oh, this is like Jesus' birthday, but we did not celebrate that or, observe that at all. Then I became a Christian, and Christmas, because I became a Christian and started working in churches pretty quickly thereafter, Christmas became a really busy season of work for me. And I kind of started not liking Christmas as much because I had to work every Christmas Eve. There was so much more on staff as a church staff member. There's just so much more needed from you and for you in the month of December that really, for a number of years, I feel like Christmas passed me by. Like it was work. And then 24 hours Christmas Day, and that's it. I guess we're taking down the decorations. In recent years, I feel like especially since we had Harper and had children, like that idea, it made me slow down a little bit more in terms of, and I've had to be intentional about it. So what are my feelings now with Christmas? My feelings now are, I'm excited. I feel anticipation for the whole experience of the season. I always have this I don't know where it comes from. I think a lot of people have this. I've talked about it in sermons, but this internal pressure or / desire to try and like make this the best Christmas ever. Like, I don't know how to exactly, I think different people frame that up differently, whether that's, I want to watch all the shows that I want to watch, or I want to make all of the traditional things that we've made, or I want to go see, the lights at the, or the, the zoo lights, or the, whatever the different things are, whatever your personal family traditions are. I want to be with family. I want to be with friends. I want to do the right gifts. Like, I want to try and get the most out of Christmas. And so I'm in that zone right now as we are on this side of Christmas. But then I've always reflected back that like December 26th comes no matter what.
Right.
And it's always a bit of a letdown. And so I know that. I know I'm setting myself up for failure. And yet I'm all for it right now, right? I'm like, let's gingerbread this mug, man. Like, let's go. So that's how I feel about Christmas. What do you feel there?
Yeah, I love Christmas. I think growing up, it was always just a really special time in our house. I mean, we were pastors' kids. We didn't have tons of money. We saw lots of miraculous things happen around Christmas. So I just feel like, I mean, people are just naturally more generous at Christmas. So there is this kind of like generosity builds this like this atmosphere of, I don't know, something. Just as a kid, I just loved it. And I never outgrew that. And I'm like you, Chris. I'm always like, let's make this the best Christmas ever. But I think in our culture, especially, we've kind of lost tradition in a lot of things. And I think Christmas is the one place where we still have really sweet traditions and people really still stick to that. I mean, that's why like you go downtown to the German market, whatever, the Kris Kringle, I don't know what it's called, but it's just feels very old fashioned and traditional. And I think people love that. And so I think there's something very sweet about that. And yeah, I think people naturally make more time for family and friends. And so I'm a quality time girl. So anytime I get to just hang out with people, I love that. And I feel like it happens a lot around Christmas. So
yeah, I'm right there with you guys on liking Christmas because I like it. I love it. It's a great time. It gets magnified, I think, for a lot of people, but once you have kids, it's just like, again, yeah, I'm kind of in the mode of comparing it to previous years. You do want it to be like, oh, it's got to be better than last year. Yeah. So, but growing up, it was the same, like growing up in the church. It was for me, one of those, I think what made it even more special, we'd celebrated all the traditions, all those sorts of things that come with Christmas, but also being in the church, it kind of magnified it even more, because it was one of these like, hey, it's, Easter and Christmas. It's this like the one of two huge Sundays of the year or celebrations or holidays of the year. And so all the things that came with it at church as well, of like the little kids pageant and like that, those sorts of things, and singing all the Christmas hymns and everything like that. And so I loved it growing up. And then, yeah, I think like as an adult, definitely, Chris, yeah, being like working in the church, it feels different a lot of years now, because there's just so many other things that go into the Christmas season. And I think sometimes, to be honest, like there are some times where I sit there and if I get too focused on some of the to-do lists that I have of like working in a church and like the things that are coming up and all that kind of stuff. And I sometimes I'm like, man, I wonder what it would be like if I just didn't like work at a church, if I had a normal job, and like, would it be like more anticipation? Like sometimes it feels like we're always talking about Christmas leading up to it. That again, then yeah, it comes and it goes. And then you're like, wow, all of that. And now turn the calendar and like, let's keep going. And so, yeah, so I feel like I'm in the mode now of like trying to, I think sometimes when I feel like too overwhelmed or too busy or whatever it is, and I just can't really focus on, Christmas, I kind of tend to put that all into my kids and think like, okay, well, even if I'm feeling a little like, it doesn't really feel like Christmas or whatever, the weather's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, but like I feel weird, I want to make it great for my kids and like anything that I could do for my kids. And to be honest, as a pastor and a Christian and a father, I think sometimes for me, there's like pressure when Christmas comes around that it's like, man, I want my kids to enjoy all the things and have fun and have these memories and stuff. But I also want to make sure they know like what Christmas is really about. And so it's kind of like Easter too. Like when those things come around, it's like kind of a reality check for me as a parent of like, yeah, I want to make sure my kids are understanding what Christmas is all about and not focused on a lot of those other things. And I know we'll talk about in the next episode, Christmas traditions and that kind of stuff. But I wonder for you guys, for those people who really get busy and overwhelmed with this season, like there's so many things going on. It's the end of the year. There's family coming into town. There's hosting family. There's parties, all those sorts of things. There's buying gifts. There's the rush of everything seems kind of crazy. And I feel like every year I'm hearing from people of like how do we slow down? Like, how do we enjoy Christmas and not let it just blow by us with all these traditions and sorts of things? How do we find like that peace? So I'd love to ask you guys, what's like maybe the one thing or a couple things that's part of Christmas that maybe is the most overwhelming for you, or the thing that kind of brings on a lot of that maybe stress, or if there's anxiety or anything like that kind of makes you feel rushed. Do you guys have any specific things that like each year when it comes around, it's like, oh, that's the thing that's bringing that pressure for me?
I'll say for me, and I'm in the same boat as you, Karina. Like I love the Christmas things, but I also think they're the things that like the extra events are the things that bring me stress. So like I love a Christmas party, and it's also like, oh man, another evening out plus one every week for the next 6 weeks. It's like every Christmas, it's like we got a neighborhood Christmas party, and then a D group Christmas party, and then the staff and elder Christmas party, and then that friend who invited us. And it's like, I don't know how many more ugly sweaters and white elephants, and I want to just like go hang out with friends and celebrate the season. But there's always, it does level up my stress a little bit. Like that piece levels up my stress. I don't know why there's a lot of additional things associated with those things. Like why we can't just like have a Christmas party and just eat food and hang out. But there's always like, oh, it's gotta, you gotta have Secret Santa, and you've got to have a gift exchange, and you got to have an ugly sweater contest, and we got to theme it out or something like that. That brings me more stress than like, I just want to hang out with my friends and my family and do Christmas stuff. So that's, I guess that's the piece that stresses me out. It's not buying presents. It's just the extra events. And maybe it's because I like to stay at home, but I don't know.
Yeah, I do like the events. I think the piece, it's very similar to yours, Chris, actually, but it's kind of opposite, because for me, it's all the cooking involved. I don't naturally like cooking as it is, but then there's this added pressure of like, but this is a Christmas party. The food needs to be special, or this is a get together. The food needs to be extra. Like it's not, I'm like, so I
You're like, can we cater Chipotle?
Exactly.
Like,
we do something against pizza. I don't understand. So it just feels like
the traditional Domino's. Oh yes.
Exactly. Right. It does feel like that's acceptable for any other party, but it feels like Christmas party, the food is up a level.
Yeah.
Leveled up. And I don't love the kitchen. I don't love cooking or shopping for food, any of that stuff. So all that added pressure over the perfect Christmas dish, not my fave.
Yeah, I think what brings on a lot of the pressure for me is like the expectations I put on myself, I guess. And really it's how great I want the season to be for other people. Especially my kids and family and extended family, that kind of stuff. It's always in my mind of like, yeah, are my kids doing all the things? Like, have we seen all the lights? Have we checked out? Like, you have that checklist of all the things you got to do, like put up the Christmas tree, like go get ornaments and all that kind of stuff, and see lights and all that stuff. And so I think like all those experiences, every year it's like we get closer, and I'm like, oh no, we're running out of time to do all these things. Cause you're right. It's like the one big day and then it's all done. And then you got to take it all down and you kind of move on. And so, so I feel like the expectation I put on myself on helping other people enjoy it, especially my family, that just kind of, it almost like, it kind of steals peace from me, and it kind of like robs me of like enjoying some of the season, because I'm just so into what like what we have made kind of Christmas to be about. And so so in thinking of like the Christmas story, you know, how does the Christmas story speak to those who are, you know, who are maybe feeling stressed or stretched too thin? You know, we've got we spend like Advent talking about Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus. Like how can we see and really kind of focus on the Christmas story and the birth of Jesus to help us sort of get past maybe all this noise or expectations or anything like that? Like, what are some ways that we can really kind of focus and use the story of Jesus's birth to sort of help us really focus on that and not focus on too many other things? Because I think that's where a lot of people kind of run into it, is everything else comes first.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you think about, you know, the adage, Jesus is the reason for the season, like that idea is actually, I mean, as much as it's played out, it is the only real truth that we could actually claim in this, because like we've all already admitted, even our best efforts at trying to make Christmas awesome will eventually, like it can't hold up. Like it can't bear the weight of Christmas, as it were. Like even if you get all the things done, like you watch all the shows and you eat all the cookies and you've listened to all the songs and you've driven to all the crazy houses and even if you check off whatever proverbial list you have, you're still going to be like, on the 26th.
Yeah. Right.
It's because it cannot deliver on what you want it to deliver. Like Christmas doesn't promise you those things, and yet we seem to instinctively think that it does. But if the incarnation of Jesus Christ, if Colossians 1, you know, if Philippians 1, if the Christ hymns are true, that like he gave up his divinity to become mortal, to live as we live, to ultimately humble himself to the point of dying on the cross. Like if that's what this is about, and the traditions are great, but if they don't point you to Jesus, then ultimately they're kind of pointing you towards something that's futile. So then I think that the Christmas story is actually the thing that will make December 26th legit. Everything else will lead you to December 25th and then terminate on itself. Right. And you'll be 15 pounds heavier, and you know, you'll be $1,000 to $2,000 in debt. And the credit card January is going to be awful. Right. But you can eat cookies and sing songs and watch shows and reflect on the goodness of God in sending his son. And that the 26th is going to pay dividends, and the 27th and the 28th. So, I mean, there's lots of ways, right? That sometimes means you're reading the Christmas story. You're doing an Advent devotional. You're spending time maybe serving as a family. You're being more generous. You're considering others instead of yourself. It's not just about my Christmas list. It's about, man, who do we get to bless with some giving here at the end of the year or something like that. I mean, there's lots of ways that you could probably do that, but it's investing in the right things. So we talked about this in the sermon in Romans, one of the sermons in Romans, where we talked about peace and the difference between circumstantial peace and like real biblical peace. And that Prince of Peace idea is Jesus came not to bring us just like an awesome Christmas. Like he came to bring us peace, like peace on earth, goodwill towards men. Like the Linus and Lucy kind of idea is actually a real idea. That kind of peace is deeper than, man, are my kids pumped that they got the right Lego this year? So I don't know. That's my kind of initial thought on that is that I think you've got to really rethink what kind of peace you're looking for. And I think you got to play for the long game when it comes to Christmas. Because if you're just trying to get to the 25th with all the awesome, then the 26th is going to be lame. But there's a way that you can get the 26th to be awesome too, I think.
Right.
So I don't know. What do you think on this, Karina?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. And we kind of implemented a lot in our family when my kids were little and growing up. A lot of the things that we did, a lot of the activities that kept us busy, I created like a devotional to like tie all those activities back to like the Christmas story. So for example, like we would go to the Parade of Lights every year and I'd have my kids make gift bags of light and then they had their little gift bag of light, but we explained like, like just all the Bible analogies with light and that we're light of the world, that Christ came. Anyways, and then and we'd always put like a VeggieTales Christmas movie in there because back in the day when you could get them at Mardell's for $5,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what you do now. Anyways, but then they would find a kid and we'd put like glow sticks in there and all the fun stuff at the Parade of Lights and they would give a kid. So it was just like, we spent time before even going to the Parade of Lights and we would, talk about, Christ coming to be the light of the world and then build their light gift bags and bring them. So it was like everything that we did that was extra, we tied back to the Christmas story or to the gospel or to some kind of like, because I think that keeps everything in perspective, that this isn't just something to keep us busy or super cool. Like you can ask my kids, they'll tell you all about their gift bags of light.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think it's important to, to touch on that, we're not saying don't do all of this fun stuff. But I think Karina, you're right and I was going to ask you guys, like, what are some kind of rhythms or some practical things. And then that's what we're talking about. Some things that we can do to sort of really focus ourselves and even our families or whatever like that. But yeah, it might not be getting rid of things and like not doing certain traditions or whatever. But Karina, you're right. Even if you add something new, having it be something that lasts longer than the 26th. That is, and I think that's a really cool way to look at it, Chris, that something that we're not just building up all this for one day and then we're sitting there at the end of the 25th and we're all just going, okay, well, it's all done. Cause it's not. And so I think it's really cool to maybe find something, and maybe it's something new that you and your family can kind of do together that will help you focus on Christ and help you focus on being there for people, encouraging other people, giving a gift to someone, helping someone maybe with their stress or whatever, like they're going through, and like blessing someone in this season. I think that's just a cool thing to do. Do you guys have any other, like, even just like little practical things that we can do to kind of help us in this craziness, or something that maybe you've done in the past that have kind of helped you focus past that 25th, that 26th?
Yeah. So one way is to do like some sort of Advent devotional. Like, I think that's a real practical, easy way. You can use the Bible app, and they've got all kinds of Bible reading kind of devotional things for Advent, leading up to those things. I think that would be something to consider. I find for my heart, like I can get geeked out on all the Christmas music. I like it. But like there's something about leaning into the Christmas hymns a little bit. And so listen, like, get me some Mariah Carey. Like, I'm down with that. And
I'll remember you said that.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I love that stuff. Like that stuff, it's nostalgic for me. And so I love that. And in the same breath, it's like, when I think of the rich lyrics of "Oh Holy Night" and what child is this? And oh
Mm-hmm.
come, Emmanuel. Like, so there's really beautiful arrangements of Christmas hymns that modern, worship teams and churches and artists have done. So sometimes centering on that type of music is
Mhm.
helpful. It still feels Christmassy,
Mm.
right? It gives you
Yeah.
the Christmas feels, and it also has some substance that's,
Mhm.
Mhm.
not Santa baby,
Mhm.
right? So like, I
Right.
think that's okay.
Mhm.
So I would say those things. Obviously, doing some sort of, I like the idea of like being generous
Mhm.
during
yeah.
this. So one of the things that Marcy and I do at the end of the year is we talk about year-end giving. But one of the
Mhm.
things that I'd like to do with Harper is like actually as a family
Mhm.
think through how do we want to be generous with the
Mhm.
end of our year.
Mhm.
So that could be something that you work through
Yeah.
together as a family. Yeah, I think there's lots of
Mhm.
little ways. It doesn't have to be a lot of stuff. Like you said,
Yeah.
Kyle, it's just changing your focal point just a little bit,
Mhm.
just like changing the angle a little bit. You can still decorate, but like
Mhm.
you can focus on Christ in the midst
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
And I think that'll bring a new richness or
Mhm.
like a more dedicated experience for you this
Mhm.
Christmas season.
Mhm.
I don't know. What do you think? Any other? These are just little ideas.
Yeah.
So
I think it's also okay to say no to the things.
Mhm.
Like I think I am 100% guilty of this, that I just never want to say no, because it's
Mhm.
like, oh, they want to hang out, let's hang out. Because like I said, quality time is my thing. But I've learned like you have to say no to the right things,
Mhm.
and that way you can focus, because there are some things you can't say no to, like your kids' school Christmas performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Don't say no to that.
they all do every band and every play
Uh-huh.
and everything is in December. So it's like you have to do those things, so then we can wisely use other opportunities.
Mhm.
I mean, and I know families get complicated and there's expectations, so I'm not saying just use that as your no, I'm just going to say no to everything. Like prayerfully consider the things that are important,
Yeah.
and the things that you really feel like you need to do, and then you can kind of gauge the other things and how you want to fill your time. But I think it is okay to say no sometimes during. I'm telling this to myself mostly.
Yeah.
yeah, that's absolutely right. Like rest a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things sometimes we think, okay, so this is for
Mhm.
you, Kyle Knight.
Mhm.
It's easy for us to be like, hey, if we're not doing something, if
Mhm.
we're not leveraging the time, we should go to the zoo, and we should go to the Hudson Gardens, and we should go to the tree lighting down in Chatfield, and we should drive around and look at Christmas lights.
Mhm.
And then I'm reminded when Harper is just like sitting in our living room staring at the Christmas
Mhm.
tree, that it's like, or we could sit here
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and like and have some hot cocoa and read the Christmas story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Totally.
actually simplifying some things might turn it into a much sweeter and better experience for our kids too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking of all those things. I was thinking of, Karina, as you were talking, of like maybe there's something you need to take off your plate of like, or like
Mhm.
say no to,
Mm-hmm.
and be wise about that of what it is. But yeah, also Chris, of like, and as we're kind of taught, this whole thing is kind of talking about peace and the craziness, but like building in like a rhythm, maybe a new rhythm of peace, of just that. And I, before I even said that, I was like, man, just sitting there with the people that you love,
Mm-hmm.
and whether that's like a new tradition or something,
Mhm.
but just actually taking in the moment whenever you can, knowing that like those kind of things might not be around for a long time, or that like those can be like the most special things, is just like building in like one rhythm of peace, one area where you can just stop and like take a deep breath. And then also one other thing I was thinking of is even just maybe building something into like your rhythms of looking to encourage somebody else or looking to give to somebody else, and kind of maybe focusing on others, and not in a way of like
Mm-hmm.
expectations or like trying to impress or comparison, like whatever, like all that stress that comes with whether it's like families or family gatherings and that kind of stuff, or what everybody else is doing, but to actually take some time to think about others, to reach out to others, to help others in a season where you know that they are really crazy, or it's not as joyful for some people, they're going through a lot. And so to think about those things and those people that you might be able to bless with a little bit of your time, or like say no to something so that you can go and say yes to somebody else and to help them. I think all these things are really good in a season that can be crazy for a lot of things. So yeah, I mean, thank you guys for talking about this. This is, I mean, this season can be crazy, but we're just hoping that it's a blessed season for everybody, and that you take the time to be with people that you love, to have fun and enjoy this season, but also to remember why we celebrate this time, and the reason why we go to church on Christmas Eve and do all these things and sing these praises and these hymns like Pastor Chris said. So do you guys have any last little things about Christmas? Christmas. Well, enjoy this season, church. Thank you guys for this conversation. Thank you, church, for listening, and we'll catch you next time.